It is official. The suspect accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk is in custody. His name is Tyler Robinson, and he was a student at Utah Valley University where Charlie Kirk was shot. Now, there is a lot of information that we found out this morning, including potential ties to Antifa, his motivations, and the fact that there could be multiple suspects involved in all of this. We'll get into all of these details in this video, but what's really alarming about this is that he was clearly radicalized. He was raised a good young man. He had two working parents. Both his mom and his dad were present in his life. And in fact, it was his dad who turned him in. His dad is a cop. His dad was in law enforcement for decades. So this guy was obviously raised to be a good citizen, but somehow he was radicalized. And it appears so far, based on the evidence, that he may have been radicalized in college. So his mom was very proud of him. This is a video she posted on Facebook when it was announced that he received a scholarship to Utah Valley University.
Okay.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
I mean, it really is sad. Obviously, this is a tragedy for Charlie Kirk, his family, for the country, for the conservative movement. But if you think about it, this is also a tragedy for this young man's family because, by all appearances, they were a normal family. His parents appeared to have raised him right. And this man appears to have been a victim of the brainwashing of the left, brainwashing by higher institutions. It really is sad that this is what happened to someone who had a life full of promise. Not everyone receives a scholarship, right? And his own dad, he confessed to his dad last night. Like I said, his dad was a police officer, a cop, and it was his dad who turned him in. His parents could have covered this up. His dad could have stayed silent, right? And no one forced his dad to report his own son. So that right there also just tells you everything you need to know. Now, look, over the last few days, many people have been canceled or fired from their jobs for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. And I don't believe in cancel culture, right? And I don't think anyone on the right believes in cancel culture. However, there is a difference when it comes to something like this. It's not that you can't have free speech. It's not that you can't have a nuanced view on what happened. But think about what happened in Texas, right? Where that pediatrician was fired because she was celebrating the death of children at that summer camp. That's what happened there. Look, when you are in certain positions, whether you are a physician, a police officer, a Secret Service agent, I released a video on that yesterday. Apparently, a Secret Service agent was celebrating and cheering on Charlie Kirk's death. Or in this case, if you are a professor, you are in a position of authority, right? And you are influencing and impacting lives around you. So the left wants to cancel people just because you have a wrong opinion. But I think what's been happening over the last 24, 48 hours is when people are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death publicly, number one, they're celebrating death. Number two, you are in a position of authority. You are in a position of influence. No one is saying you can never have a job again. We believe in forgiveness. We believe that people can change, especially when they're confronted with their own wrongdoings. But what happened here with Tyler Robinson, it was very clear that he was radicalized, and clearly this happened while he was at college. So that makes you wonder, who were his professors? What were they telling him in the classroom? What was he seeing online? College is a time to be skeptical, right? You can be skeptical. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm skeptical, but sometimes we need help and guidance, especially when it comes to medical advice, taxes, and Medicare. Unfortunately, a lot of Medicare agents push Medicare Advantage even when it's not right for you because they make more money. They make more commissions doing it. And that's why I'm proud to partner with Chapter. Unlike others, they don't just explain the amazing benefits of Medicare Advantage. They walk you through every single Medicare option, Original Medicare, Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, and Part D, explaining the pros and cons of each. They support you in comparing every plan against your specific healthcare needs because they want to ensure that you have the best coverage for you. One Chapter member, Jill, said her advisor presented her with options that she didn't even see on the official Medicare.gov website. And in many cases, Chapter saves people over $1,000 a year by getting them on the right plan. So if you're on Medicare or you're going to be soon, click on the link below. I'm pinning it as the top comment, or call 321-358-2297 to get in touch and feel confident in your Medicare coverage. Even if you already have a plan, they can confirm that you're on the right plan. No pressure, just free, honest, ethical help. Well, speaking of skepticism, to help prevent skepticism, it was President Trump himself who announced the update on this, who announced that Tyler Robinson was in custody. He made this announcement because he had found out just 5 minutes before appearing on Fox News this morning.
Any updates on the suspect?
Yeah. Can I always say, I think, just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued, and we all don't get sued, and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody. Right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But, yeah, I think we're in great shape.
Mr. President.
And he's in custody.
So shortly after President Trump's appearance on Fox News, they held an official press conference in Utah. The governor was there. Law enforcement spoke. Kash Patel was also present, and he offered a few words at the end. They talked about a lot of things, including how the investigation happened and how, you know, this is a stain for Utah. But Utah is still a great place, and Utah residents are all great people. But they talked about, you know, just what this means for us as a people. And I think that's important for all of us as this case resonates so strongly around the country. But one of the things that they talked about, because a lot of people were wondering about this and rumors had spread online, I even covered this on the channel, but there were allegations that messages were scribbled on the weaponry, right? And they did confirm that, and they confirmed what exactly was written down.
That had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow, Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
So obviously very disturbing messages, and if there are more, I'm sure that will come out in the coming days. In regards to that first one, what's this? A lot of people believe that it's in reference to maybe the furry community or transgenderism, like what's this, what's the bulge? And obviously he used an acronym there, and a lot of people are parsing out what that means. So that's the most likely explanation for that. Number 2, he said, "Hey fascist, catch this." So that obviously tells you that he believes Charlie Kirk, President Trump, everyone who supports President Trump are fascist, and that really underscores the point that conservatives and anyone with an objective mind has been saying over the last few years, that if the Democrats, if the media keep saying that Trump is a fascist, if they keep saying that he's the next Hitler, then what are you doing in regards to his safety and the safety of every person who voted for him, who supports him? That is absolutely scary, and this actually has shed new light on things that Kamala Harris and other prominent Democrats have said within the last year. Just take a look when Kamala Harris was running for president.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You couple that with Hillary Clinton's bad, deplorable people, Joe Biden saying they're garbage. I mean, what does that do? Non-fascist support fascist? Is that possible? Like, if you vote for someone, if the left calls someone evil, how can you possibly look at anyone who supports that person as a good person, right? And so they really are just fanning the flames here. And you would think that they would have toned down the rhetoric, try to cool the temperature, but just take a look at what Jasmine Crockett said. She is a sitting congresswoman, and she said this after Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
We've got to talk about like what it means when you're running for president or you're running for one of these higher offices and you go out there and you talk about beating people up. You go out there and you say things like, I could shoot somebody in the middle of the street in New York and I could still win. We got to talk about like that. That is next level. Me disagreeing with you, me calling you, I want to be Hitler. All those things are like not necessarily saying go out and hurt somebody. But when you're literally telling people at rallies, yeah, beat them up. And that kind of stuff, like you are promoting like a culture of violence. So we need to talk about like what it looks like when you don't promote a culture of violence.
Absolutely ridiculous. And as someone who has watched a lot of political rallies, which, yes, includes Trump rallies, I've never seen Trump say to someone to beat him up. The worst I've seen him say is to security. When there's a protester or a heckler, he's like, get him out of here. Send him home to mommy. I'm sorry, that's not the same thing as beat 'em up. Last but not least, they talked about Bella Ciao being written on the casings here, and this actually is a reference to an Italian song, and this Italian song actually is known as the anthem for Antifa, and a lot of anti-fascist movements around the entire globe have actually used that song as their anthem. So this right there, the fact that he wrote Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao multiple times really indicates that he either was aligned with Antifa ideology or maybe even considered himself part of Antifa, which is very scary. Now, what is really interesting here, during the press conference, there were two moments where they hinted that other people may be involved. Very important. I want to be very clear before I play these clips. These are hints that other people are involved. These are their own words. I'm not spinning anything out of context. But just because you're about to watch the following clips, it doesn't mean that this is confirmed, that this is accurate. We're just, trying to analyze the news as it comes out. But before I play these clips, I would like to acknowledge USMC Carr, 1501 Ova, Jeremy 2001 Happy, Lizzie Tom, and Bob Paul as the members of today's Governor's Club. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. I am so glad that you enjoy. Well, there are two clips I want to play. And this first one, they reference a Discord server. And so for those of you who are not familiar, Discord server is like a private chat room. You can invite people to this chat room. People can chat either online or through their phones, whatever device they have. And basically people can set up, just different rooms, different groups on their own personal space. And they found that he was posting these threats, posting his plan online. So other people definitely knew about this. This, again, does not indicate that there was a conspiracy, but people did know that this was going to happen before it happened, and there actually was a plan to get away, a plan for the aftermath. Certainly raises a lot of eyebrows.
Member Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits.
So that first clip shows and proves that multiple people knew this was going to happen. They were aware of the plan before it was executed. But what has people really interested is actually what Kash Patel said when he started talking about suspects, emphasis on the word suspects, plural. This is Kash Patel at the press conference.
We will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, And we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime.
So that definitely appears to hint at the fact that they are considering other people, whether or not they were involved in the planning, or whether, you know, they just were negligent in not reporting that this could happen. We have yet to find out. Again, it is not proof of a conspiracy, but it is something to keep our eyes on in the coming days, that this might not be the only person apprehended. This might not be the only person involved in all of this. Now, President Trump was asked recently about his safety in the aftermath of all of this. Obviously, a lot of conservative commentators and personalities, and even in Congress, they are terrified in Congress. You take a look at all of the articles coming out, they're all revamping their security. Many of them have canceled town halls in their own hometowns because they're so terrified about the political climate. Well, President Trump was asked whether he fears for his own safety, and I thought this was a great response.
Are you concerned for your own safety?
Not really. I'm really concerned for our country. We have a great country. We have a radical left group of lunatics out there, just absolute lunatics, and we're going to get that problem solved. I'm only concerned for the country.
I thought that was a great answer, and definitely shows where President Trump's priorities are. As always, though, all of this is just my analysis and commentary. That is what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So earlier in the video, I said that I believe it's right for any professors, any educators, to be fired if they are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death online. So the question of the day is, do you agree with that sentiment? Do you agree that, hey, if you are in a position of authority, it's not that you can't have free speech, but you have influence, and you need to be careful about how you use that influence. And it's not about canceling you indefinitely, but hey, there needs to be consequences for that, so this sort of radicalization doesn't happen again. Or do you disagree? Do you think that that's the exact same thing as cancel culture? Do you think that that just makes us as bad as people on the left who want to cancel people for, you know, exercising their free speech, which really, if you think about it, is the freedom to have your own opinion? Let me know your opinions on that down in the comment below. As you know, it's okay if you disagree with me. Look, I love the exchange of free ideas. So even if you disagree, I'm not going to get mad at you and like berate you in the comments or anything. Like I do really want to see where you're coming from. Like I've said many, many times before, I learn just as much from reading the comments as I do from reading the news. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.